So, it's actually kind of hard to believe whenever you really think about it that our last limited characters that we got were Byblis, and we're also going to be Blooming Lidica, and then after that was Elvira, and our now latest character is Laia here. So why is everybody really kind of digging on Laia? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the turn 1 Nahkwol counter. So basically, the way in which her kit works, she is always going to have her S2 cleanse available to her on her turn 1, going up against any and all Nahkwol teams. That is fucking invaluable. Especially considering how a lot of turn 2 players pretty much consider Nahkwol the absolute fucking giga cancer of the game. Myself included. I'm definitely one of those people. Because I've always looked at this fucking unit and I pretty much just said to myself, hey, yeah, I don't see any way to really fight this other than doing severe, insane shenanigans and also just doing straight-up dodge teams. But now, with Laia, or Laia, however you wish to pronounce it, straight up, you actually have an option of going into that. And so, with that being said, we're going into a Dark Corvus, a Nahkwol, and a Navy Captain Landy team. A little bit of an odd combination, in my honest opinion, because the Dark Corvus isn't really going to be too much of a threat as long as you have a good, strong, solid light unit that's on your team. And also, my Lone Crescent Bellona is on an injury set, so hey, we've gone into that Dark Corvus maybe even 2 times. Congratulations, he's injured. He's already going to be doing significantly less damage. Case in point, I could have burned this here, but I straight up didn't think I would actually kill. Guess what? That's 16k unburned. So with a burn, we're looking somewhere into like the 20ks. Somewhere like that. She probably would have actually killed him if I did burn that. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any evidence to back up what damage that my Laia is actually doing for any and all future events going throughout these fights, because I pretty much use her in a support role throughout the rest of the video. But here, hey, we dealt with the Navy Captain Landy because the Navy Captain Landy was actually pretty low on HP. She didn't have a maximum amount of HP. And then the Nahkwol's not really a threat as long as you really kind of deal with her on, you know, the turn 1 situation. Because that's what makes her so scary and so just insane to really fight. Yeah, she's fast as fuck. Yeah, she's going to turn cycle. Yeah, she's going to also, like, reapply debuffs before you can possibly cleanse them off a second time with Laia. But if you can really get your footing on the very early parts of the match, you're fucking gold. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and look at a oh-so-wonderful Ran team. So, this is something I haven't seen in a hot minute. It is a Ran that is on Alexa's basket. So you would think, oh shit, that means that like that Ran's going to be doing a lot of damage, right? Not really. Not really. Alexa's basket Ran is really just not a thing. RNL is a significantly more cancerous, significantly stronger, and significantly more damage-dealing tech than Alexa's basket will ever be on Ran. Alexa's basket really only works if you hit hard as fuck, and you hit hard as fuck like into single targets, pretty much. Because that's where you can really guarantee the thresholds of your damage are going to be really, really high. Ran does one really big AoE attack, and he also gives himself attack buff, so then that Gab can then turn into a 2-turn, like, you know, Gab, which, oh man, that sounds scary. Not really. It's not really super, super bad. So I went into this expecting an RNL, but then I ended up getting a Gab. So, like, I'm really making the Gab look like it's not really anything big at all. The Ran probably is doing somewhat decent damage, but I decided to go with a Shadow Knight, Pyllis, a Roana, and an Elena team because I had no fucking clue what I was going into. Could have been an RNL, and then that RNL could straight up go into my Elena, could go into my Shadow Knight Pyllis, could do a lot of damage. And I hopefully am wanting that damage to be going into Shadow Knight Pyllis because of the excessive amount of defense that's on my character. Now, thankfully, hey, it was a Alexa's basket, so there's no RNL there. Yeah, Gab does proc, but like, it's really not that much of a big deal, because after the first big hit from Ran, you cleanse, you go ahead and apply your invincibility with your Elena, you tank the rest of the cleave, and then you just kind of start grinding the team down. Like, case in point, the Ran's already dead. Because he's not on RNL, he's not really too big of a threat. We've killed Mercedes once here. And, like, straight up, this is what I love about this shit. So, hey, big AoE attack coming in. Okay, cool, I'm gonna heal. And then also, if she happened to do an S2, or she procced a Magic for Friends while having an attack buff, cool, I'm going to heal with Elena's S2 if it's available, and then I'm also going to heal on Roana's S2 Vigilant Eye procs. It's kind of fucking crazy just how safe this actually is. Now, there is one small caveat. I don't even know if I'm using the correct vocab words. Hey guys, surprise, surprise, Lucent's a fucking retard. But there is one thing in particular that is kind of wrong with this, and it really sucks because this is like the state of the game that we're in right now. Yes, we are using Rocket Punch Shadow Knight Pyllis. If we were not using Rocket Punch, we would actually be locked right now. The reason why is because this Senya is rocking S1 EE, Skill 1 EE. And because of that, basically, we would be stuck in a never-ending fight and she would constantly be overhealing and we wouldn't be able to kill. So, right there, I just cut about 3 minutes out of the whole fight and skipped ahead because at that point, they can't win. Now, let's look at this fight right here in particular. I had no reason to really even use Laia here, but it did give me a little idea for maybe something in the future involving both Ahmed and Laia just because of the cooldown reductions. So, the plan is, we'll do our typical, boosting with Ahmed, we'll do the attack buff on Arunka, then we'll cleanse, then we'll go ahead and do a cooldown reduction there, so she should get her S2, S3 back even faster. Now let's do our Arunka shenanigans. We happen to get our first turn, we'll go into the Savior Adin, bam, dead. Now all we have left is we have Spirit Eye Celine and we have Unbound Arowell. Now we're rolling dice right here. We straight up lose the out of the 3 fucking choices, she picks the one unit I do not want her to fucking hit. And hey, that's just the way in which it is. I didn't have a dark bait that I wouldn't use for this. Normally, I would throw in something like, say, auxiliary lots into this instead of Laia. But this was really just like a proof of concept, something of maybe I want to do some Ahmed and Laia and like one other DPS into certain other comps. I'm thinking about it. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe it'll work. Now, because the Spirit Eye Celine did not Dust Devil or anything like that onto my Arunka, hey, cool, we're able to go ahead and cycle around because of that cooldown reduction that we did earlier. Hey, we have Skill Null and we have Attack Buff back up again. Shazam, we'll go into the Unbound Arowell. Now she's dead. Now all that's left is Spirit Eye Celine. We've already burned her barrier. We'll soul burn that, and we get a dual attack anyway, and she's fucking dead. Yay! And now on to, well, it's another Ran team. Basically, it's the same one we fought earlier. It's going to be Ran, Senya, and then a Mercedes. Now, this one is slightly different. The Senya is not going to be on S1EE, and also, I don't believe that this Ran is on. This Ran's not on Alexa's Basket. Either that or it doesn't fucking proc, or it could be on RNL. You just never fucking know with these things. That's just the way in which it is, man. We don't have Artifact Preview. We don't know what the fuck we're fighting. Then again, maybe we do know, and I just straight up am not really paying attention. But either way, anytime I'm going into Ran teams, I really, really like to go ahead and use Silvertide, Christy, Lone Crescent, Bellona, and Elena. It works extremely well. Like, this is literally the same team I use, just instead of Mercedes, it's usually always Lilias. And it works extremely well. Like, no shit. It's extremely consistent. The only time shit gets pear-shaped is whenever RNL happens, or just some weird shit happens. Which, not very often, like, really crazy weird shit really happens whenever I'm utilizing this team. So, basically what we do is, after Rand does his shit, then eventually Lone Crescent Bellona is going to be pushed up to the top. We'll use S3 on him. That will almost always kill him. The only time it's never had not happened is anytime it was a thick Ran, and thick Rans are not really a threat. You don't really see a lot of thick Rans in the meta. So hey, Rand's dead, and now normally we'd be going into Lilias, but hey, we'll go into Mercedes. Now we kill Mercedes once. That's essentially the one hit into Lilias. Now here, we get AoE'd again, so hey, and then we bat back to another counterattack that goes into them again. The Mercedes had low health, we'll kill her there with that counterattack, and now all you have left is Senya. And straight up, because we didn't fight any, like, actual stupid shenanigans, like no dual attacks, no, like, other crazy shit going into any of my units, nobody's at risk of dying. Absolutely nobody. Which is, like, the only thing that I kind of don't like about Elena is I feel like she doesn't have enough healing potential. I almost feel like if she had one turn reduction on her S2 for, like, the healing, I think she would be absolutely fucking phenomenal. But now, hey, goody goody, let's go on ahead and go into another wonderful team here. So this is an ae-KARINA, a Landy, Navy Captain Landy at that, and a Sharun. So for this in particular, I couldn't think of anything right off the top of my head that I could really do to fight this. Funny thing is, I could have done Arunka shenanigans. It's just I have so little experience when it comes to fighting Sharun. I always forget that bitch gives a barrier to whoever has the highest attack on the team after her turn. But either way, I decided, hey, let's go in with our tried and true Destina, Dark Corvus, and Iseria comp. Mainly because Iseria kind of checks ae-KARINA whenever the game doesn't fucking hate you, and then Absolute Resistance just rears its ugly head. Which it does quite a bit in this fight, because I think I have somewhere close to 170 fucking effectiveness. And I am pretty goddamn positive that KARINA ain't rocking much of any fucking effect res. But either way, we happen to get our turns just right then and there. I still need to do proper speed tuning. I still haven't done it. I need to make my Destina faster or my Dark Corvus slower. Fuck it, guys. Gear is annoying. Gear fucking sucks. I hate gear. Gearing is the worst thing about this fucking game. Change my mind. You fucking can't. But, like, either way, we've killed the Navy Captain Landy, so now it's like, oh yeah, everything should be good, no? Well, technically, yes. There is one other small trap that's in here, and I've fallen for this before in the past. I don't think this Sharun is on Celestine, so it won't really work. But basically, the trap is, if you ever get injured on your Dark Corvus, and then you're like fighting a counter Celestine's Sharun or something like that, well then, she can straight up like lock you in the fight because you can't kill her because you've been injured too much on your Dark Corvus. This has happened to me in a video before. But basically, right there, I didn't even really think about it because I wasn't really paying attention to what her artifacts were and all that other shit. So I decided, okay, I'm not going to soul burn here because I didn't have the confidence that I was going to be able to kill the ae-KARINA because she had a small baby barrier on her. Guess what? I probably could. I probably could have just straight up killed the ae-KARINA right then and there. Whatever. But either way, we decided to go into the Sharun, we'll kill her, and now we just have KARINA left. Now, the one threat that can really happen is if she death breaks my Dark Corvus, and if I don't land this death break right here, she could actually possibly kill me. So I had to do a quick little recheck, and I was like, hey, what the fuck is Iseria's soul burn again? I totally forgot. It's like, oh, okay, increases the chance of death break. All right, cool, I'll take it. So I go ahead and throw that on. It just so happens to land, and I'm like, hey, just for good measure, let's go ahead and throw on, you know, unbuffable and a refresh on Death Break. Oh, lol, a double 15%, which is, like, the dumbest fucking shit, dude. 170 or so fucking F. Man, I just can't fight it, especially whenever my piddly-ass effectiveness on my Dark Corvus can fucking provoke her. Good shit! And now, here comes another opportunity of using Laia. So this is a Conqueror Lilias, a Death Dealer Ray, and a Abyssal Yufine. So the goal is, if you have a maxed out artifact, if you have a maxed out Sweet Miracle, which I 100% recommend, because if that did land sleep right there, and then Sweet Miracle procs, well, guess what? Then you completely cleanse yourself, and then you can straight up cleanse the rest of your team. Well, the only reason why I brought Moon Bunny with me is because I also wanted another unit that could also provide attack buff. I could have probably done any other, like, number of unit with me. Whatever. That's just in which the way it is. I'm fucking stupid like that. And then I also brought Martial Artist Ken, because Martial Artist Ken really likes to do some shadow boxing outside of the battered women's shelters, and that's where Yufine likes to hang out. Now, we've already killed her once. And thankfully for us, we're within Sigurd Scythe range, so we do more damage even though we have attack down right now, and attack buff, so we straight up knock her out of the game. She's dead. We'll get a dual attack with Laia, because that's the way in which her S1 works. Free dual attacks, baby. If we go into the Death Dealer Ray, kill him, and now, well, next turn right here, Conqueror Lilias is dead. Yay! Take a drink. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the Guild War. Hoorah! So yeah, like I was saying in the last video, Laia feels pretty fucking goddamn good. It's like, who'd have thought? It's basically if you just make something that functions really well with a fucking turn 2 team, or just something in general that can speed up the tempo of the game. Oh shit, everybody fucking liked that. Except for, like, I mean, also, Laia has a pretty good design. She's a cute character. She has a lot of expressions. She's just a very, very pleasing aesthetic kind of character. And there's my stats for her. I actually think these are kind of bad. I feel like I could possibly have more effect res. I definitely don't have enough speed, and I think my HP is, like, okay. And also the fact that, like, Sweet Miracle is not actually maxed out. I'll get on that, guys. It's just, you know, bottles kind of take fucking forever to get. And especially because it's really, really good to make sure you have 5 more of those for whenever the limited version of TAM comes out, which you fucking know is going to happen. You just know it. It ain't going to be a skin. If it's a skin, it's going to be the very first skin in all of Epic 7 history where one character has 2 skins. I don't know. They gonna do that? I fucking highly doubt it. They'll probably just straight up give us another limited character. Hey, dog, gotta make money somehow. But either way, so far, I really, really like her. She's been a lot of fun to use. It's really great just because you can just throw her onto almost any team, and you can just kind of really make it work because what she does is it's cooldown reduction. It's one of my favorite mechanics. You know, like the other guy, Dingo, who I can't use. But either way, boys, I hope you guys like this video. If you want to see more of my content, go on ahead and hit like. And if you want to see more of my content, hit subscribe. Later.